WWE's women's division is in a great place right now, but would still benefit greatly from her presence. Bliss spent a long time mixed up with Bray Wyatt and the women's tag team division, but now is the time to let her loose and pose a unique threat to the division's biggest stars. After years of working with subpar material, Bliss has earned the kind of spotlight her talent deserves. The Wyatt Sicks is a great faction with tons of potential, but history has proven that WWE has consistently struggled to book these characters effectively. On paper, it makes a ton of sense for Bliss to be a part of the faction because of her love for Bray Wyatt and their history on WWE programming. But the Wyatt Sicks has all been about giving struggling wrestlers some direction. Bo Dallas, Dexter Lumis, Nikki Cross, and Erick Rowan all struggled and failed on the main roster with previous gimmicks. Joe Gacy was a call-up from NXT, given a shot to prove himself on the main roster. Alexa Bliss, despite some of the booking issues she has had to deal with in the past, never had it quite so bad on the main roster. She is a 5-time women's champion and 3-time women's tag team champion. And the massive reaction she got at the Royal Rumble PLE is more than enough proof that fans want her to be featured prominently on the road to WrestleMania 41. The Wyatt Sicks would just be wasted on Bliss because she just doesn't need the group at this point in her career, and she shouldn't be used just to keep the faction relevant. Alexa Bliss' Royal Rumble 2025 return came about late, and at Shotzi's expense despite reports that she and WWE were butting heads over the terms of her return. Alexa Bliss shocked the world by appearing at the Royal Rumble this past weekend. Previously, Alexa was at one point set to return to WWE on the San Jose set episode of Raw last month, which saw Penta make his company debut. Reports at the time stated that those plans were ultimately scrapped after Bliss and WWE came to an impasse over the 33-year-old's contract. WWE said to be wanting Alexa to return under her existing contract. Bliss herself said to be wanting a new deal either way. Alexa Bliss ended up being the biggest surprise entrant in either of the Royal Rumble matches over the weekend, entering the women's match in the number 21 spot and getting a fun 11-minute run that was ultimately brought to an end by Liv Morgan.as for how Alexa's return came about. Fightful Select reports that this was a late decision. In fact, so late was this decision, the other participants in the Women's Rumble had no idea that Bliss was to be in the match as of Saturday morning. Not only was the 5-time WWE Women's Champion not at rehearsals on Friday, but Shotzi was instead scheduled for that spot. While those Fightful spoke to about this situation didn't have anything against Alexa Bliss, and were happy that she was back, there were some people who felt bad for Shotzi in all of this. For Shotzi, this would have been a first main roster appearance since last year's Royal Rumble, with the balls of badass having missed the bulk of 2024 due to a knee injury and nowadays getting some reps in NXT before returning to the main roster fold. Jade Cargill to return on WWE SmackDown this week and reveal her mystery attacker? Exploring the chances. Jade Cargill has been absent from WWE television since suffering a mysterious backstage attack on SmackDown in November last year. While many expected her to return at Royal Rumble this year, it did not happen. Rumors have been swirling that the Storm may be gearing up to make a thunderous return on the upcoming episode of SmackDown to unveil the identity of her mysterious attacker. The speculation further ignited when PW Insider recently reported that Cargill has been training at the Performance Center and would soon be part of the build-up to the show of shows. With the WrestleMania season officially kicking off, it seems to be the perfect time for the company to pull the trigger on what is currently one of the hottest storylines surrounding her attacker. Although there is a high possibility that Jade Cargill could make her comeback on SmackDown soon, the chances of it happening this week are relatively low. Even though the 33-year-old has started training, it needs to be noted that she sustained a legitimate injury, which may require some additional time to heal. As a result, it might take a few more weeks before she comes back. Jade has been quite active on social media, furtively dropping hints of her backstage attacker. This seems to be a major indication that WWE would resume that storyline upon her much-anticipated homecoming. While many believe Bianca Belair or Naomi to be the one behind the ambush on Cargill, it remains to be seen when the truth comes to light. Will Jade Cargill cost Bianca Belair and Naomi the women's tag team titles? Before suffering an injury, Jade Cargill was one half of the women's tag team champions with Bianca Belair. However, Naomi stepped up to replace her as the champion when the latter was sidelined due to injury. However, This may not have sat well with Cargill. The former AEW star could return to SmackDown in search of answers. Either of the two superstars between the EST and the Glow is currently speculated to be her backstage attacker. During their next title defense, Jade Cargill could make a shocking return and cost the duo the Women's Tag Team Championship. That IT could be the moment when WWE might finally unravel the much-awaited truth. Big Jade could call out Belair and Naomi, revealing them as her potential mystery attackers. Besides, there have been rumors of Bianca and Jade breaking up sooner than later on the road to WrestleMania. Should such a scenario unfold, it could also prompt a match between the two best friends at the Showcase of the Immortals. However, the angle is merely speculation. It could be the moment when WWE might finally unravel the much-awaited truth. Big Jade could call out Belair and Naomi, revealing them as her potential mystery attackers. Besides, there have been rumors of Bianca and Jade breaking up sooner than later on the road to WrestleMania. Should such a scenario unfold, it could also prompt a match between the two best friends at the Showcase of the Immortals. However, the angle is merely speculation. Jade Cargill actively working to get cleared before WrestleMania 41 after mystery injury. WWE News. Jade Cargill continuing to work at WWE Performance Center in hope of WrestleMania 41 clearance. Jade Cargill is actively training at the WWE Performance Center in hopes of being cleared to return as soon as possible. This is per the takedown on SI's John Alba, who states that the nature of her injury remains unclear. The report follows PW Insider's report that WWE believes Cargill be free to return to television before WrestleMania 41, the 19th and the 20th of April in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cargill has been off television since November, when WWE constructed a mystery attack angle in which Jade was laid out, bloodied, on a car hood and windscreen. Revealing her attacker's identity has provided the story's hook and could play into Cargill's WrestleMania 41 plans, provided she is cleared that AS Jade was Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Bianca Belair at the time of the angle. Her other notable ally, Naomi, has stepped in to defend the gold during Cargill's absence. WWE has sporadically teased tension between Naomi and Belair along the way. Currently, Naomi ranks amongst the favorites to be revealed as Cargill's attacker, which would make sense in kayfabe. Cargill being out has allowed Naomi to slide into a role as a tag team champion, increasing her status. If Cargill is cleared before WrestleMania 41, it'd be reasonable to assume that WWE would look to pay the storyline off in Las Vegas. Whether this would take the form of a singles match with the mystery attacker or something else entirely remains to be seen. Nonetheless, Jade remains uncleared, though she is actively working towards it at the Performance Center. Her last WWE match came on the November 11th, 2024 episode of Raw.